So indeed, I'm very, very happy to be here once more. Since 1956, Buddha Jayanti celebration, because of, I think, Sanchi stupa, and then also after 59, in the Madhya Pradesh, one Tibetan settlement, because of Suja Sagrajasa. So, no, what to call? Menpat. So, previously I used to go to that settlement. First came to Bhopal, then I think 5-6 hours drive to our settlement. So therefore I passing through several locations, Bhopal, and then also it came Bhopal city itself, few occasions, some function like that. So this time, those concerned people, arrange this meeting about human right as a concept. I'm very happy. Now meeting with you, as I briefly mentioned there, I'm Buddhist monk. And basic level, I'm human being. We are same. You want a happy life. I also want a happy life. Everybody have the right to achieve that goal, happy life. Now for that, external matters, external material facilities, important. But most important is our mental attitude. A person, mental attitude more because of the realistic, then his or her life even go through difficult period, but you can maintain peace of mind. Without these kind of inner sort of value or right attitude or realistic attitude, and even small things immediately disturb your peace of mind. So peace of mind cannot solve, cannot get through money. Some my friend, billionaire, very rich, but as an individual, very unhappy person. So that I always is telling people, I always is telling or sharing with other. Now we want a happy life. The ultimate source of happiness is our own mental attitude. So therefore, please pay more attention about our inner quality. That's my number one, commitment. Wherever I go, I always make clear these things. Number one. Now here, India is sort of a 1,000-year-old tradition, concept of ahimsa. Very important. Violence. Through violence, you get some immediate satisfaction, but long run, more trouble. The only realistic method to solve problem is through non-violence. Through non-violence, you may not get 100% satisfaction, but there is no side effect. That's my number one commitment. Then second commitment, I am Buddhist. Again, you see, in India, 1,000 years, the religious harmony, as yesterday I mentioned, you see, this is something very, very important. Now, today's world really need 1,000-year-old India's tradition of religious harmony. So I always try to promote harmony among different religious traditions. These two things are my lifelong commitment, because, you see, I believe media people in modern society, in particularly democratic society, media people have very important role to show right path or to bring healthy society. So please keep these two things in your mind. Sometimes the media people always bring the bad news, and then eventually you see public get the impression we human beings are very negative and our future no hope. That kind of sort of a pessimistic attitude to develop because of always because of the negative information. It is very important. Negative information also, you see, make public because of public. At the same time, we also need there is sort of potential change these things. Basically, human nature is positive. This is my belief. Because we come from our mother. Our life start under compassion, love. And we survived with mother's maximum affection. So our life starts that way. So everybody's in our blood. You see, the seed of that compassion is there. So that's one thing. Then another thing, as I mentioned earlier, the democratic country, in order to, the democratic, the constitution there, rule of law there, but at the same time, some mischievous people always happen. Now, this case is corruption, injustice, right? Injustice or corruption, these things happen. So the media people must make clear what is going on, what is happening. So usually whenever I give some meeting with media people, I always ask them, you should have long nose as long as elephant nose. Smell everywhere, front and also behind. What is going on? Then make clear to the public what is the reality. That's very, very important. Provided you must be very honest, very truthful, unbiased. That is important. Objective. Then must make clear what is going on. All these negative things. That's very important. So that's all. Now questions.
We have some questions, can we start?
Yes. Yes.
Yesterday you were not willing to answer many questions.
Yes. Political question. Yes.
You see, do you still hope that China is going to vacate the Tibetan territory that they had occupied? You still have hopes after so many years of.
Firstly, whether China. My statement, the 10th March annual statement, just a few days ago, I made. So I think you should get one copy.
If you go to DalaiLama.com, his political statement is there.
Can we have, since you are here, we need sound bites also for that.
Oh, yes. Basically, whether Chinese government admit or not, there is problem. One indication, all over Tibet, the Chinese communist is compelled to station large number of Chinese soldiers. And then, second, a lot of restriction. The tourists or foreign journalists, they cannot go freely. So, if things are good, then no need such restriction and no need such station of large number of soldiers, isn't it? I like that. And then also, the Chinese diplomat in different country, they always feel embarrassed to defend about this Tibetan problem like that. So therefore, You see, it is mutual interest to solve this problem. So the best way to solve this problem through mutually agreeable solution. That is not seeking separation, independence. Within the People's Republic of China, according to Chinese constitution, they implement those rights to mention in the constitution, those different sort of nationality, different ethnic groups, like Tibetan and Mongolian and Xinjiang. You see, the Chinese constitution, you see, arrange autonomous region, autonomous district, autonomous or prefecture, so on. So the problem, not implement, thoroughly, just these rights mentioned in the paper, but in reality, not implement. So we are trying to solve this problem. Usually we call middle way. Middle way, not seeking separation, but the present sort of existing sort of policy is really harmful, like that.
Any other?
In that case, you said you don't want
So therefore, in recent years, there are a lot of articles wrote by Han people, Han Chinese, many of them from within People's Republic of China. As far as we notice, more than 800 articles in Chinese language wrote by Chinese, all fully support about our middle way approach, very critical about Chinese government policy.
You want an autonomous body.
Yes.
Not autonomy, not liberation. For how long will you continue to rule? You Prime Minister in exile, you have got the government in exile, you are in India, ruling Tibet. For how long it is going to continue?
Huh. That nobody knows. I think Delhi also, because of that, cannot tell. And even Peking also cannot tell. Or United States in Washington also cannot, because of that, cannot tell how long it will take. I think things are changing. That is certain. That is certain. Now among the communist top leaders, you see some, even I think last year, even you see express, it is necessary to carry some, review their policy regarding different, they call nationality. Some Chinese would say high sort of position in party, Communist Party. So these are indication. And then, according to reliable information, among the top leaders, you see two groups. One hardliner, one more lenient, more liberal thinking, like that. More liberal or more lenient, like that. So things are changing. I always telling people, we witness, including myself, witness last 60 years of last 60 years of history of People's Republic of China. So 4 eras: Mao Zedong era, then Deng Xiaoping era, then Jiang Zemin era, then today's the present sort of Wu Jintao's era. 4 eras. During Mao's era, the emphasis, importance of ideology, that era ended with disaster, cultural revolution, these things. Then Deng Xiaoping era, the emphasis economy, not ideology. So Deng Xiaoping himself, you see, stated, so long, cat catch mice. White color, or white cat, or black cat, doesn't matter. At that time, you see, one sort of was a saying among the Chinese. One road, at the end, you see, two roads. One capitalism, one socialism. Then one car. President Yeltsin car, come and without hesitation go to the capitalist road. Then Jiang Zemin's car coming. Then at the sort of intersection, really hesitate. Car becomes slower. And then behind Deng Xiaoping give instruction. The car's light should open this side, socialism.
The indicator.
Indicator should this side to socialism, but actually should go capitalism. So, wait. You see, in order to know, you see, things, the background knowledge, fuller knowledge about the background is very, very important. Then, so the Deng Xiaoping era, see, I think brought big change in China. Now, coastlines, they highly now materially highly developed. Many of these big cities now much developed than Indian cities. Clear. And new class produced, that's middle class, right? Middle class. And also to produce billionaires. Recently, I heard, a few days ago, I heard through BBC, the number of billionaires. China now become next of America, number two. Many billionaires now coming in China, a socialist country, basically communist. Difficult, isn't it?
Difficulty.
Then Jiang Zemin era, third Jiang Zemin era. Because new reality, now Communist Party no longer party of the working class people. Now Communist Party must represent those wealthier people or middle class people. So his idea, party three represents. That's Jiang Zemin era. Now Wu Jintao era. You see, because of these sort of new change, now gap rich and poor, and coastline and interior area, big differences, and also working class people now no longer guarantee for their like education and also health. Previously, there is a guarantee. Now these things disappear. So therefore, there is sort of potential of problem. So Wu Jintao emphasis importance of harmony. So 4 eras, last 60 years, shows same Communist Party have the ability to act according new reality. Chinese people usually everywhere, we can see the hard-working, realistic people. So things are changing. So therefore, if we look Tibet issue locally, very difficult, hopeless. But if you look from wider perspective, very hopeful. Things are changing, like that. And on the other hand, Tibetan spirit inside Tibet, very, very strong.
Very strong.
Younger generation, even young children, their Tibetan spirit is extremely very, very strong. And on the other hand, among the Chinese, traditionally China is Buddhist country. So now, recent decades, Buddhist population in China rapidly increasing. Now, according some reliable information, more than 200 million of Chinese Buddhists now there, like that. Yes, yes. Yes, you I think yesterday you asked about the tricky question.
Particular question is very important for India.
Yes.
Now we are seeing a lot of Chinese military activity around our country. They are setting up military bases in Pakistan, in Bangladesh, in places, they're even having their naval setups in the Indian Ocean. How are you viewing this? Do you think the Indian government has to be alarmed about China's increasing military activity in this area?
You want some strong statement from my mouth. I don't want to say that.
Whether the Chinese were particularly unhappy about your visit to the United States.
Even I mentioned myself as a son of India. The Chinese were furious. Furious. They accused me. So, the answer for your question, I do not want to create more anger in Chinese mind. These things I have no direct link. Please ask the Defense Ministry in Delhi. Yes.
Are you in favor?
Huh?
They should be buffer state, just like Vatican.
What kind?
Are you in favor?
Vatican nation. Buffer state.
Buffer state.
Tibet should.
No.
Buffer state.
No. I think in 70 or 80s, my Indian friend brought that kind of idea. And then I told them, Tibet issue is 6 million Tibetan people's issue, not Buddhism or not Dalai Lama Dalai Lama's institution. As far as Dalai Lama's institution is concerned, in 1969, one of my official statements, I stated this century-old, I think now nearly, almost 5 centuries, and particularly since 5th Dalai Lama institution become head of both spiritual and temporal. Last, nearly 400 years. Now that institution, whether should continue or not, up to Tibetan people. If majority of Tibetan people feel Dalai Lama institution is no longer much relevant, then it will cease. No problem. So that idea is not realistic. Not according to our thinking. Yes.
The Chinese were particularly unhappy with your visit to the United States that we hear. Would you like to comment on that aspect?
It's quite understandable. It's hardliners consider me as a demon. So naturally, wherever demon goes, it is bad. So including demons visit here, Bhopal, I think they feel very bad.
Would you ever visit China? I mean, do you have any...
Oh, yes. 1983, when Hu Yangpang there, Ding Xiaoping there, Hu Yangpang, 1980, visited Lhasa. He publicly apologized about past mistake. And he promised 80% Han people withdraw. He mentioned. So at that time, very, very hopeful. So 83, I publicly stated I want to go to Tibet and see by myself what is the situation. For that reason, 1984, I want to send a delegation for preparation for my visit. Because my first delegation visited 79. When they reach Lhasa and some other places, bit chaos situation happened. So I do not want to develop that kind of chaotic situation. So therefore, I want to send that delegation for preparation my visit. But then Chinese refuse give permission.
When will this delegation be sent? When do you plan to send this delegation to China?
Oh, now since 2002, 2002, 9 times meeting with Chinese officials. The 9th latest, the last November. Like that, but not much to do.
Are Chinese leaders really prepared to talk to you? The hardliners, are they really willing to talk to you? At least talk to you?
Like same in relation with this question, tomorrow if you are going to have a talk with Chinese, so that is going to be unconditional or conditional?
The problem is the Chinese government is dismissed there is Tibetan problem. So only problem is me. So our position is we have nothing to ask to Chinese government about Dalai Lama's sort of privilege or Dalai Lama's future. No Tibetan sort of, or say you mentioned, you see, our administration sort of officials. We have nothing to ask Chinese government, some sort of right or some kind of privilege. The Tibetan officials who are working inside Tibet, they should carry the work or responsibility continuously, like that. So therefore, now this is the problem. So therefore, latest our 9th meeting, we suggest to the Chinese government, now there's a gap. You say there's no problem. We say there's a problem. So let us visit Tibet, a delegation, jointly, and without fear, local Tibetan, we should have got the thorough investigation. What is majority of people's wish or feeling? If they feel very happy, then our information is wrong. So we must apologize. Then you see, I mean, no basis of our struggle. If things are other side, other case, then Chinese government must accept the reality and must start realistic approach. We suggested at the 9th meeting. So we are waiting. They publicly, they never sort of respond about this suggestion. They always, like previous, they always say they scold us, criticize us like that.
So there is another question about...
So from our side, we are always willing to talk.
That's what I wanted to ask. Do you still have hope that they are going to react, vacating the territories and what were different things? They are
Giving
not
you
ready
your
to
autonomy.
talk.
Huh?
Do you think they are actually going to give you your autonomy?
They are not at all
the way
talking
that
to
things are
you.
going?
They are not even saying that there is any problem there.
Hmm.
Still, you are hopeful that they are going to vacate the.
Now inside Tibet, many retired Tibetan party member, retired sort of officials, and many intellectuals in Tibet, they all, you see, want. Actually, we are here acting on behalf of these people. So they cannot speak openly. So their wish we are carrying here. I myself also is described as a free spokesman for Tibetan people, not leader. So long that kind of desire there, we have to act. So the real, the real thing is Tibetan, inside Tibet, they never satisfy the present sort of condition. Even many Communist Party members. So some Tibetan communists, old Tibetan communists, they joined Chinese Communist Party in early 30s or 40s.
Chairman Human Rights has also
Right here.
You derive your power basically from the desire of the local Tibetans. You derive your power basically from the Tibetans.
Good morning. Come on. Good morning. Come here. One chair.
Please be seated.
Carry this stuff. Once Tibetan people there feel happy, then no question.
Sir, your talks with Chinese, in case it is going to take place in future,
Yes, continuously.
the talks are going to be the conditional one or the unconditional one. You are going to talk with them in unconditional.
Unconditioned.
Unconditional. And what are the points are going to be there? On what points you are going to have an unconditional talk?
So clear, we made very clear. The defense, foreign affairs should look after by central government. Then the local sort of business, education, and economy, particularly environment and spiritual, these Tibetan knows better. So they should have the full authority. Now this, so far, every key position in various departments, even in religion, one Han person. Now, one party secretary, about I think more than 10 years ago, party secretary, Tibetan Autonomous Region, his name Tenguyen. One party meeting, he actually mentioned the ultimate source of threat, Tibetan being separate, is Tibetan Buddhism. So accordingly, they implement subtle way restriction about Buddhism, and they start, they set up, or say they patriotic education in monastery or nunnery. So I think best thing is some of you, I think should go to Tibet and spend more time there. And I also, usually telling people, go to Tibet, a little expensive. So you can borrow some money from here, and then once you reach Tibet, you get some, what's a Tibetan?
Antiques. Antiques.
What called?
Antiques.
Antiques. So you can buy some of them with Tibetan sort of smell and sell. India or I think Hong Kong, maybe, I think a little bit high price. So in any way, seriously, must go to Tibet. Look there and thorough study and spend, at least a few weeks. When you reach there, because of high altitude, I think 3-4 days, your brain may not function properly. So full rest. Then after that, go different places, not only in town, but countryside. And I think someone best speak Tibetan, if not speak Chinese. Then, you can communicate local Tibetan.
Sir, considering the trade relation between India and China, which has been going up now, what is your take on a lot of issues which India seems to avoid now? And probably the Tibet cause is probably sort of completely diminished in foreign affairs.
Actually, logically, India and China is two most populated nation, even world because of the global level. So good relation between India and China, genuine friendship on the basis of mutual trust is very essential for both countries and also for peace on this Asia, and even I think because of two most populated nation and also nuclear weapon. So for world peace is concerned, the good relation between China and India is very, very essential. So that's, and then good relation between India and China also is helpful to Tibetan problem.
Sir, one question about environment. This is Chinese year of tiger, and all tigers are dying in India. It is believed they are going to China.
Not all tiger. In China also there are tigers.
They already consumed their tiger.
Bengali tiger, and Manchurian tiger, like that, isn't it? It is very sad. It is very sad. and also bears are bear.
Bears.
Bears also.
You see, using some of their sort of what's it,
Organs.
organ.
Different Chinese
Huh?
tiger parts.
Huh? So it is really unfortunate. Even I think the tiger thing or tigers, including skin, trade through Nepal and Tibet. Sometimes you see some Tibetan also involved. It is very sad. It is very sad. But in Tibetan, now a few years, one occasion I publicly expressed because of furs are
Now wearing fur.
wearing fur, and also these the animals or tiger
Tiger skin.
skin or leopard or these things. I sort of criticize. It is quite shameful, and also you see different ornaments are
Jewelry.
jewelry. You see, when I saw such a picture, I feel a little bit shame. These people not pay attention about education, but just spend some money for these things. Here, empty, just outside. You see, this is quite silly. So I publicly express, and then tiger skin or animal skin. These are, you see, we are follower of Buddha Dharma, so it's not good. I publicly express. Then, as a result, and many parts of Tibet, they burnt these sort of furs or these, including tiger skin, these things in Tibetan area. Now, since then, now Chinese official, they insist you should wear these things in order to disobey Dalai Lama.
They consume tiger parts as aphrodisiac.
Oh,
Chinese, they consume tiger parts as aphrodisiac.
for medicine, either tigers or what should they?
Aphrodisiac.
Libido. Raising the libido.
That's right. I think bones. Yes, that's right.
So China is do you think that China is the greatest violator of human rights cases?
Greatest, that's difficult to say. North Korea. I think even worse. But meantime, in European continent, after Soviet Union change, all the former communist countries in Eastern Europe all changed. Asia, North Korea survived. Vietnam also survived. Although it's a relation between Vietnam and China historically very bad. And during Deng Xiaoping time, so what called punitive action. You see, they happen. But broadly, both are communist. And then Burma, even in Burma, I think, Buddhist country, I think quite bad, quite sad. It's a Buddhist country because of the human rights violation, very immense, very strong. So these are very bad, very sad. But these, you see, they survived because of People's Republic of China.
Do you think
That's
that
clear. So you see, China, People's Republic of China. I think I always stress now democracy immediately in China is questionable, whether really helpful or not. If you see the centralized authority collapse, then there could be too much chaotic situation. That is nobody's interest. So gradual change is the best way. In any case, now at present, my statement also I mentioned 1.3 billion of Chinese people have every right to know the reality. So censorship and distorted information, these are immoral. Of course, censor distorted information cannot fool the rest of the world, but fooling their own people, it is immoral. So China should have complete freedom of media, and Chinese people have the ability to judge which is right, which is wrong. So people should know what is going on, what is the reality. So censorship is, I think, no basis censorship. During war or some kind of sort of emergency period, sometimes this censorship happen. But now peaceful time, censorship is illogical. So that I think I was openly expressing. Now China should act transparent. Then now you see the relation between India and China. In order to develop genuine friendship, transparent is a very, very important matter. How much spending, defense, secret, state secret. These create suspicion. With suspicion, how can develop trust? Isn't it? So genuine relation, friendship must be based on trust. So for trust, transparent is very essential.
Sir, over the years, my last question. Over the years, the education for the Tibetan youth, which we had seen in the early 90s and probably late 90s and early 2000s, had sort of gone down. Like, has the strategy changed on demanding autonomy?
Oh, yes.
The tag of free Tibet is no longer used. So.
No. Tibetan youth organization here in free country, right from the beginning, they stand for independence. So that everybody knows. So they critical about our stand. We are not seeking separation or independence, like that. Now, you see, the situation inside Tibet become, you see, bad to worse, very, very bad. And our sort of dialogue or negotiation with the Chinese government, you see, as far as improvement inside Tibet is concerned, failed. So therefore, criticism about our approach is also growing.
So when you chose this approach of middle way 50 years ago, you must have had a vision for your future. But do you think that for the last 50 years, 60 years, your this middle way approach has produced the desired results for you?
Not 60 years. Last, now I think more than 40 years. Yes. Actually, we come to India, political asylum, 59 April. Then in early 70, in Dharamsala, in India, we finalize. Sooner or later, we have to talk with Chinese government. So this is some sort of the concrete sort of idea should be there. So the idea, middle wave approach, then start. Actually, I think I remember 74, we made up in our mind. At that time, China fully engaged Cultural Revolution. And only end of 79, no, beginning, end of 78, when Deng Xiaoping got full power. Then we received some indication from Peking. And since we here already made up in our mind, so at once we responded like that.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.